guys, Treetop Piper, back with you about you know different ways to expand your palate, different ways to understand what it is that you're tasting. Because a lot of people don't realize you're tasting the same things that I am when I smoke a blend and you smoke one that you've seen me do a review on or whatever. Most likely you're tasting the same things that I am, but the thing is you don't know how to understand what it is that you're tasting. To somebody who's new to pipe smoking, you try a blend like Nightcap or Quiet Nights, you go, oh, this is awesome, this is amazing. You try a blend like Skiff Mixture, oh man, this is amazing, and but you don't know exactly why it's amazing. What are the tobaccos in there? What's creating this flavor that you're getting? Well, a lot of times, you end up thinking that it's one type of tobacco that gives that flavor. When it's not. It's multiple tobaccos properly blended together that gives that flavor. It may not be just one flavor. It may be the combination of several tobaccos that creates that flavor that you enjoy so much. So I remember what I did, and it really helped a lot. It really helped me understand what it was that I was tasting. To be able to pick a whole nuanced flavor profile apart, flavor by flavor, piece by piece, and tell you what it is that's making that flavor in my mouth. And the way you do that is by trying tobaccos, trying different blends, trying tobaccos all by themselves, particular types. And what I've noticed is a lot of people, they think that when they smoke in English that it's the Latakia that adds all the flavor, but that's not the case. It's the combination of the Orientals and the Latakia that make it so delicious. And Latakia and Orientals separate are great. They're great in blends. Orientals are great in blends without Latakia. Latakia is great in blends without Orientals. And I've kind of come up with a little list with blends that kind of help you. They help you single out tobaccos. They help you single out types of tobaccos by being less complex. Like I'll use this as an example. Dunhill's Baby's Bottom. It has two types of tobacco in it. It has Virginia's and it has Latakia. So when you smoke that none of the flavors you're getting are attributed to Orientals because there are no Orientals in that particular blend. So what you can do is, especially, obviously you want to know what Virginia's taste like. You should know what tobacco tastes like, Virginia's, straight Virginia's. So when you smoke a blend like Baby's Bottom, you should be able to note the differences between a Virginia blend and Baby's Bottom. And the difference is the Latakia. So you should be able to note that Latakia flavor by itself and know what Latakia tastes like by itself. Because you should be able to differentiate the Virginia flavor from the Latakia flavor. If you've already had Virginias, which most likely you've tried a natural tobacco at this point, and you know what a Virginia, just a natural tobacco, tastes like. So when you try something like Baby's Bottom, it gives you an idea of what what Latakia tastes like without Orientals, altering the flavor profile. And let's say, basically, English blends are very complex. They use several different tobaccos to create that flavor profile. If you want to be able to pick each one of those different components out, then you've got to try each component by itself. That way you know the players, who's making what flavors. When I say, I taste the Orientals there, the Orientals are popping up because I know they add this certain flavor, or a certain set of flavors are attributed to Orientals. And then I'll get a dose of Latakia. I'll say, there's the Latakia. Because I know the flavor profile of Latakia by itself. I have a good frame of reference for what Latakia tastes like. And for Orientals, what I did was I went out and got like Standard Mixture Mellow is a great one because it's Virginia's and Orientals lightly toasted. Early Morning Pipe's another good one because the Latakia is so minute. It's almost all Orientals and Virginias. So you can get a pretty good idea what flavors Orientals are bringing to the table by one of those blends. And also, any of the Grand Orientals by McClellan's are going to give you a pretty good idea of what Orientals taste like. But not only that, there's a lot of different Orientals. There's Yanidia, there's all kinds of them. And they have blends that only have specific types of Orientals, so you can really pinpoint flavors with those blends. And also, companies like McConnell's and McClellan's, they have tinned blenders where they just sell straight up Parikh or straight up Latakia or straight up Orientals. And you can try those. Try blending, or or try those and get a feel for the flavors. And with Latakia, what some blends I would recommend to get the idea of what Latakia brings to the table would be Baby's Bottom by Dunhill. Sam Gawa's Wintertime Flake is another one. There's no Orientals, just strictly Virginia and Latakia. And also, Sam Gawa's Navy Flake is that way, but it has the rum topping, so it there's another variable added in there. It's not just Virginia's and Latakia's. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend that one if you're trying to figure out what Latakia, the flavor profile of Latakia. And then you got your Parikh. And what I did when I first started out, when I made my first order, I ordered Standard Mixture Mellow, I ordered Dunhill Deluxe Navy Rolls, and I ordered Dunhill Flake. I wanted a full Virginia tobacco or a regular Virginia. I wanted an English, and I wanted a Parikh blend. I wanted to be able to I wanted to know what Parikh tasted like, I wanted to know what Orientals tasted like, and I wanted to know what a regular Virginia blend tasted like. So if you want to know what Parikh, the flavor profiles of Parikh, try Dunhill Deluxe Navy Rolls, Escudo Deluxe Navy Rolls, Cabby's Mixture by Sam Gawith is another good one. In Cabby's Mixture, it's similar to Bayou Morning and Bayou Morning Flake. It's like Virginias it's like red Virginias with Parikh, so it's very bready, very tangy sourdough bread flavors from the red Virginias and the Parikh. And Dunhill's Elizabethan is another one that has a decent Parikh content. And red Virginias, that one's easy. If you want to, get to know red Virginias and understand the flavors that they impart to a blend, try something like 40th Anniversary or McClelland's Bulk 5100 Red Cake. Nothing but red Virginias, and it's very bready, very bread-like. That's where you get the tangy sourdough bread notes from. Is typically from the red Virginias. Carolina Red Flake is another one, the small batch. That's a really good one if you want to get to know red Virginias. And Bayou Morning Flake is another one I would say. And if you want to get to know bright Virginias, which impart another unique flavor profile, I would try it with Orlick Golden Sliced or Best Brown Flake are a couple good ones. They're bright and grassy and wonderful tobaccos, really and truly great tobaccos. And then Stoved Virginias. I think a good one to go with for Stoved Virginias would be Sam Gowa's Full Virginia Flake. You really get an idea of what stoving the Virginias does to the Virginias. How it changes the flavor, and what flavors that a stoved Virginia imparts on a tobacco. But those are just a few blends, that can help you expand your palate, help you understand what it is that you're tasting in these more complex blends out there. If you start with simpler blends with simpler ingredients, you can build up from there. So you can start to understand what the more complex ones really are and what's making all those flavors and delicious nuances happen. That's how you get there. You have to start with basic blends, the basic tobaccos that are used to make these complex blends, and that would be Virginias, Parikh, Latakia, and Orientals. And the Virginias, there's several kinds. There's bright, there's stoved, there's red Virginias, and with Orientals, there's a lot of different variation with Orientals. Latakia, there is some variation. There's Syrian, which is different than Cyprian, but in Parikh, it's just one type. It comes from one place, so Parikh will always be the same, pretty much. But that was just a little bit of a few blends that I thought would be good information for a beginner in the pipe world, somebody who wants to understand some of the more complex flavors of pipe tobacco. And this is how you start. You start with the less complex blends. You start with those. You start to figure out what each individual type of tobacco tastes like, what their flavor profile's like. And then later on down the road, when you're smoking super complex, really fine blends like Germain blends, you can understand what it is you're smoking. What tobaccos are used, what and where the flavors are coming from, what tobaccos are imparting what flavors. But I really hope this helps some of you guys out. Hope it helps you guys understand how a guy like me could be able to pick out these flavors. Well, it's because I've really done the work and done the research and figured out what these darn tobaccos taste like. And I would advise you to do the same because it gives you that much more enjoyment. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative. And like I said in the last video, I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas. And until next video, Treetop Piper over and out.